Okay, let's take a look at the various things we have to offer, right? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then some extra things here. Um, we also have two indicators that I did not include here, but those are free within the package. So let's look at the fair value gap first, okay? To me, I like this one, right? The high here, the low here, and a volume imbalance. It should chain this on the 5-minute chart. Sure enough, it does. The midpoint, we'll select the midpoint. And if we see how beautiful that midpoint works here, we can also see it here on a 30-second time frame. Let me just find it. Okay, there it is right there. 1 minute, same thing. There it is right there. We see how well it reacts on both the 30-second and the 5-minute. And we can also draw this on the 30-second using the same fair value gap tool. We can draw something like right here, and notice how it has a different color, all off the same tool. All right, we'll do a 1 minute also, and we'll see that the 1 minute has its own color. Beautiful. So we see how accurate that is right here. This is not something I would look for to try to trade. This is just, again, showing how these tools work, use case scenarios. But we see the different interval presets. This is a bullish fair value gap on the 5-minute, but we also have the ability to create a bearish one. So we create one here. Notice how the outline is red on this one. This is all customizable. You can change the inside color, outside color. Quadrants will match the outside perimeter. You can have more presets. I only have 3 set up for me though. If you don't have something as a preset, it goes to the default value, which is what I have here on the 5-minute. With the drawing export, all these levels will be exported out. The high, the low, the quadrants, if you have quadrants selected. If you have midpoint selected only, it'll export the midpoint along with the high and low. You have the ability to extend fully to the right. And notice what happens when I extend fully to the right. We have the text here show up no matter where we scroll, as opposed to just cutting it or auto extending. Auto extend follows the current candle, candle by candle. So very neat tool. Order block, ORG tool, rejection block, and the zone tool all follow the same principle. The same setup. Zone tool here, we can use it, for example, if we wanted to draw out the accumulation here, we could do that. That's what I would use it for. But this one's just more of a general rectangle. We can look at the order block tool. So to me, this would almost be an order block here, right? This single green candle on the up move, followed by these red candles. The order block for me is confirmed on this down close red candle. And it's not the neatest. This tiny red candle would actually be more of the order block. And I think I clicked a little too far over to the right. Right there, perfect. So we see that order block marked out beautifully. Same thing with the drawing export, whether you have midpoints or quadrants selected, it'll export those out that way. If we take a look at something like the rejection block tool, it does the same thing. What would be a clear rejection block? To me, something like this one. We look at the quadrants. We can see this third quadrant here respected beautifully. At one point, the midpoint was also. Then it was disrespected here. Grab liquidity. We have 3 lows, so we could try to frame a setup there. We'll showcase the price time marker. So with the price time marker, if I were to like, for example, this low here, I can select that. If I wanted to show the low and I didn't want it to be down here, I could move it above the candle. Right, but to me it makes more sense down here. If I only care about the low, I can deselect all these. So I can deselect the high, the open, the close, and only have the low. If you only care about opens, closes, you can set those as defaults. Time obviously very important, so you don't have to draw and select it, so it'll show down here. It'll always show here. You can change the arrow in the properties menu. Text, everything, all of that customizable. If we wanted to do a position size, we can use this. So for example, if I want to trade one contract after seeing this third low here at the third quadrant off the rejection block, if I wanted to take anything like a fair value gap, an order block, whatever, we could do that. So let's just go in and do an order block here, right? Red candle, green candle, these down close candles. If I like this order block here, and I'm sorry, that's the wrong way. The order block should actually be red candles. It would be these. We could take that on the creation of the order block, which would be, we'll cut this here. We would frame the setup like this. Precision tool. Now, because we have these 3 lows, I do not anticipate, we have 1, 2, 3. I do not anticipate on coming back below this low. So my entry is going to be here, stop down here, entry at the order block creation, and we can do a target at these 2 highs here. So we can frame it just like that. We see the quantity, right? The risk, we see the account here. So if we have a chart trader open, that's exactly what's showing in the chart trader. If we wanted something else, it should automatically move to that. So sim 101, we could place the order directly off of that. So if we place the entry, what'll happen is price would reach down into it. The moment it reaches down into it, like in this red candle, it would place the take profit and the stop automatically. We could also, once we're in that trade, we would get a fourth option here, which would say break even. So that would be useful if once we're up in this area, wherever, right? Wherever you decide, we could use that option to move our stop, from down here to that break even point. We could also flatten the position, right? Let's say we're in this area hovering around a little too much and we're a little uneasy. We could definitely use the flatten position. It would give us a little pop-up menu, pop-up window where we would have to confirm. We also have the ability to save presets, right? Whether you manually change it here or you change it in the properties menu, how you want to calculate all this. However, if it's your trading style, you could have it saved as a preset. Let's say I want to do 2 contracts with 2 targets. I'm going to load that in. So stop is still down here. First target would be this liquidity point, and then I can hold a runner into, let's say, this order block here. And it tells us we would get out one contract here, which is 50%, second contract here, 50. And it tells us how much we stand to make. It tells us how much we stand to lose, the risk, the account. The beautiful thing about this is we can bring up NinjaTrader in here also. Have a different account over here. Right, we're on Sim 101 on both. But if I wanted to take this Apex here, 45, when I go over, we have Apex 45 here. So it can be really beneficial to trade off of multiple charts, that same trade. If we don't want to do something like a copy trader, we could also come in here, and let's say we wanted them all to be the same. We would change this account to whatever we want. So we have Apex 45 and we have Sim 101. Let's put 12 on this. If we put 12 on that, both of these should now move to 12 like this one did. And then this one should populate here as 12. Perfect. So if you want to go back, just change that again to the empty field. Once we're in the empty field, it'll take NinjaTrader as the account selector. So once we have all these drawings, right? Let's say this was something we traded during the day. We can do a drawing export, which we just click anywhere empty, right click, export drawings for the day. What that will do is it'll take the value of every drawing in every important level for drawings and anchor points. So for example, this 5 minute here, it would take the low, the midpoint, the upper portion. It would take the 30-second upper and lower, 1 minute upper and lower. If this one had quadrants enabled, it'll take every quadrant along with the upper and lower level. It'll take this along with the time, the level. It'll take this point here with the level. It'll take the stop, entry, targets, rejection blocks, everything. If you had your own drawings from NinjaTrader, for example, Fibonacci levels, it would take those Fibonacci levels and export them all. So that's really helpful for journaling. What I would do with those is I not only journal, but I plug those in into AI to try to get more information out of those. We also have this chart screenshot. So let's take a screenshot of this, what we have here. You get a notification, a little sound on your PC. With that, we know that the image has been copied. So now it should be in our mouse. So we just click paste here and we see it came out beautifully. We can also find it wherever this folder shows us. We can change where it is saved, and the default is in your pictures folder on your PC under the user, but you can change that here to wherever you like. So it's a very good, useful companion for journaling, both the export and the chart snapshot. And then pushover notifications. The beautiful thing about pushover notifications is that if you have your drawings up here, you set your for example, I would set my line here. So we'll use the line tool. Let's say I want to set my line right. The market is live currently, so what I'll do is I'll set it right here, very close. And what will happen is I will get an alert, and I'll try to see if I can capture it here through my phone. Hopefully it doesn't distort the sound too bad on the microphone, but we'll hear it, right? Enable alert. This one is enabled. Your fair value gaps and stuff, they also have that option. And I'm just gonna move capture it. All right, perfect. I should be getting the, oh, and of course my phone is on silent, so we'll try that again. We'll rearm the alert. Okay, it tells you that the alert was fired at one point. Rearm alert, and now notice that that went away. We'll bring this back down. Try to get it to hit the line. You can see it right here. And on the 32nd. Still waiting. All right, perfect. There it goes. So that's a custom sound. You can add whatever you want to it. If you want to rearm it, you can. You can also have it just to where your PC gives you the alarm as opposed to push notifications, pushover notifications, right? Line tool, it'll tell you. You can have buy side on here. You can have sell side. If you want to do your own custom text, you can do that. Custom text, and all these labels that you put on these lines, those will also be exported in the drawing tool export. So overall, you see how all these tools work together. It's just built intentionally for it to be a package. And I think the beauty of this is that whether you're new or seasoned with ICT concepts, it just really helps reduce the noise, right? It helps you pick the actual things that matter, as opposed to just having all that noise all over your chart. You can really dial it in. You can customize these exactly how you want. So for example, if I don't want this to be green and red in the background, all of this is super customizable. Every fair value gap, every line. If you didn't want this dashed, let's say you wanted it super thick and red, you can do it that way. And this was designed pretty much so that you can manipulate a lot of the stuff through the context menu as opposed to always having to open up the properties menu. And we know how time consuming that can be, right? And even something like editing your text here. So we can type in editing text in properties menu, can be time consuming, right? If we wanted something like this, we can edit the text here inline, do whatever we need to, manipulate it however, and I think this is just very beautiful, because it could save you a lot of time. So we're in call out mode here. We can go here to make it a little clearer. We'll just show the border right here. All this, so you can move wherever you want. You can change the leader here, make it bold. If you do want to edit it via the properties menu, you can, right? Do whatever you need to here. Change it off content, call out mode. Yeah, so definitely check these tools out. They are really great, especially for NinjaTrader and if you're trading ICT. And it's what I use every day to place trades, to manage my ideas without cluttering up my chart. So that's where we'll leave this. And if there's any questions, please reach out to bcnzn1434 @gmail.com.